Okay, this video is going to go through how to use the pelvic floor muscles for urge control. Okay, majority of my patients, what they do when they have that feeling of I need to go to the bathroom really bad, and then they're rushing to the bathroom, most of my patients, if they're using their pelvic floor, what they tell me, and probably what you guys are doing as well, is you're trying to clench and hold on for dear life. Okay, and majority of my patients, when I say, is that strategy successful? They say, no, right? Because that's why they're there, okay? And so if this video is finding you and this is what you're experiencing, where you have those urgencies and you're on your way to the bathroom and it's coming out before you get to the toilet, then this video is going to go through a few tips on how to reduce and hopefully resolve that for you. Again, if it doesn't, then we want to encourage you to find a pelvic floor physical therapist or even a urogynecologist. You could start there. It's a great starting point, or urogynecology provider. Those are going to be your more specialized departments. Urology is also great, but big picture, there are people that can help. And if you're needing help beyond this video, then by all means, we want you to seek that out, okay? All right, so big picture. There is 2 layers of the pelvic floor. We've already gone over that. If not, see my other videos, okay? So we're gonna just flip and we're gonna start with that outer layer because that's the one that's most important for urge control, okay? So we have that urogenital triangle, and the urethral opening is gonna be that first or top opening in that triangle, okay? Around the, or embedded in that, and you can't really see it from here, but you want to think of, so let's go actually from this view. So there's that tiny little circular kind of muscle, and so embedded in that muscle we have the external urethral sphincter, and that is going to surround the urethral wall, in addition to the urethral wall, because that's its own muscle, okay? But that one we don't have control over, so we can't, consciously think, oh, I'm gonna tighten that. So the one when we tighten and squeeze is going to be actually the external urethral sphincter, okay? So what are we gonna do with it? How are we going to calm down urges? If we are going to use the muscles, what we want to think about is doing a squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You could do that 3, 5, maybe even 10 times. Most people have to do around 5, but a few less might be fine. The reason we're going to do squeeze and relax, squeeze and relaxed, so those pulsed contractions, is because that is most effective for reminding the urethral wall sphincter to stay tight and the bladder muscle to stay relaxed. That is far more effective because if the bladder is being cued to contract, so the urge has been sent up to the brain, it's been registered as, ooh, I gotta go, and the signal's being sent down to void, and that bladder starts to contract. What is going to happen if we try and squeeze and hold it is these little tiny muscles in the pelvic floor, they're going to tucker out really fast, and the bladder is still getting cued to contract, so it's a tug of war, and we're probably going to end up losing, okay? So our whole goal is to try and keep the bladder relaxed until we get to the bathroom. Now, the best way, again, to do that is going to be little squeeze, squeeze, squeezes of the pelvic floor, and we can do as many as we need to. Often what I tell people to do is actually stay put. So say I'm sitting here and I feel the need to go to the bathroom. I'm not going to just jump up, okay? Instead, I'm going to sit. I'm going to start with actually taking a few deep breaths. If I can take some deep breaths, and especially if I'm expanding my belly, maybe you can see my belly right here. If I'm expanding my belly on those deep breaths, then I'm actually giving the bladder more space. Remember, it's in the very bottom of our belly, right on top of the pubic bone. So if I take some deep breaths and I have that belly expansion, then my bladder's not getting squeezed, okay? If it's already giving signals that say, hey, I'm full and I gotta go, we don't wanna squeeze it more. It's not going to feel less full. Think of a water balloon. If I have a water balloon and it's full and I squeeze it, it increases the pressure. All that's gonna do is stretch the bladder wall more, and guess what? That stretch on the bladder wall is what has sent signal to the brain to begin with, okay? So we want to take some deep breaths. Second thing, if I'm thinking about going pee, guess what? I've registered that signal of I need to go pee, and now I'm sending signal to go pee, okay? So that's literally how we go pee. We sit on the toilet and we think about going pee, and we pee. Think about when you haven't needed to go to the bathroom, like when you're getting ready to go in the car for 2 hours. And so you maybe went to the bathroom a half hour ago. You don't really feel like you need to go at all, but gosh, you're going to be in the bathroom for in the car for 2 hours. So you go in and you go to the bathroom. Now it probably takes a little longer, right? You might sit there, you might have to take some breaths, you might have to relax. But guess what? You were able to pee because there's always urine dripping into the bladder, okay? So the goal is not that we are just kind of like ignoring the urge constantly, but when we feel that urge, we want to be able to delay it, okay? And if we are thinking about peeing, then we're sending signals to go pee, okay? So mental distraction is what we're getting to basically. If we are thinking about peeing, it's a go to the bathroom type thing. If we are thinking about anything else, it honestly does not matter. Anything other than I gotta pee, okay? It could be like ABCs, but probably say them backwards because it's a little harder than saying them forwards. It could be like doing a pattern thing like A1, B2, C3. It could be spelling something hard. I always kind of say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious just because it's a really long word. Obviously not, I don't think a real word, it's from Mary Poppins, but something that you don't do every day, okay? And it could be geography if you're into geography, it could be math problems, it could be counting backwards from 300 by sevens. I'm giving a lot of examples here. The point is you are thinking or about anything else, you're using your mind for something other than thinking about going to the bathroom, okay? So those are the first two steps. We didn't even get to the muscles, right? Then we put in those muscle contractions. Now, you could change up the order, totally fine. What I honestly tell people to do, because you may not have to do all of those things. I have a lot of people where they come in and they're like, the mental distraction, game changer for me. So they just do that. That's great. Some of my patients, and maybe some of you, it's going to be the deep breathing, right? And some of you, you may skip both of those, those first two steps, and you may go straight into just those little Kegels, okay? Those are our top 3 urge calming strategies. But there's a few other things that I want you to be aware of, okay? Because when you change positions, so right now I'm sitting, all right? When we're sitting, we have pressure on the perineum. If there's pressure on the perineum, it's inhibitory to the bladder, meaning it's sending stop signals like don't contract to the bladder, okay? As soon as I get up, there's no longer pressure here, right? I'm here, there's pressure, and then I'm up, there's no longer pressure. So automatically the bladder may have a little bit more of a, ooh, I gotta go, okay? Even worse if I hold my breath and if I stand straight up, okay? I can't do this too much because I'm going to go out of video screen. But if I stand straight up, it's a lot of belly contraction. You can try it at home. You'll feel it. It makes your belly have to work a lot harder. And guess what? It squeezes the bladder more, okay? If I'm going to stand up and put less pressure, I want to bend from my hips. So I want my ribs and everything to hinge forward. That way when I go to stand, I'm pushing with more of my glute muscles, okay? Our glute muscles are way back here, our buttock muscles. There's a giant bone here that is separating them from the bladder. That's super helpful to know because I can squeeze my glutes all day long and it is not going to put pressure on my bladder, okay? But as soon as I tighten my belly, I'm going to have more pressure on my bladder. That's normally fine, but if it's already saying I have to go pee, it will likely increase that feeling of needing to go pee, okay? And because we live in a flat belly society, a lot of people are just holding their belly tight all the time. So some of my people, patients and you guys as well, really, truly, if you just relax your belly, you may not have to pee as bad, okay? So that's another thing you could try, all right? So let's recap. We have the deep breaths. Okay. We have mental distraction. We're thinking about anything else. We gave a lot of examples. We have the physical kind of squeezes of the pelvic floor. Okay. We have relaxing the belly. We have hinging from the hips, using our glutes to get up. You could even use your hands too. I didn't throw that one in there. All right. Those are all very local, specific things to the bladder. Okay. There's one last thing. I hope you're still with me because this one helps some people. Okay. there is nerve overlap. There's a lot of nerve overlap in our body. And the nerve, basically the nerves that go to our bladder have a shared overlap from where that nerve comes from with the nerve that goes down the inside of our leg to our feet muscles, okay? So you cannot see my feet from this angle, but if you think about doing a heel raise and a toe raise, so pretend my hands are my feet, okay? If we do a heel raise, toe raise, heel raise, toe raise, heel raise, toe raise, okay? That can work really well. Or if we put pressure on the inside of our ankle, okay? So real quick, the inside of our ankle is going to be right here, this part right here. If we put pressure on that, usually with our other heel, if you don't have sensation, I do not recommend doing this because it probably won't help and we don't want to press into that and injure it, okay? This is also going to be a technique you can only really use when you're sitting or standing still, okay? If you're walking, obviously it's going to be really funny and hard to walk if you're having to put one heel next to your other foot. It's just not going to happen. So don't try that. It's not safe, okay? All right, I think that does it. So those are our top tips for how do I calm down urgency and not allow that leakage to start. Hopefully it's helpful. And again, if you need extra help, please seek out one of those specialists that we talked about earlier. Have fun.